many as gender activists will tell you that it basically is just, it's almost papering over the cracks. This does nothing to stop the scourge of violence and femicide in our country. I suppose the question is, what is government doing to find a lasting solution to this problem?
And the statistics continue to be shocking. You'll remember just a short while, a few weeks back, Minister Bheki Cele released some statistics around gender-based violence in the country. We found out there that between the months of July and September, more than 8,000 cases of rape were reported in the country. That's just in the space of 2 months. 8,000 rapes. And out of those reported cases, a sample of 5,000 cases were taken. It was found that victims of rape mostly experience it at their homes or at the homes of their perpetrators. So of course, these are numbers that will continue to shock the country. We know that women every day in this country feel unsafe. Just yesterday, there was a case of alleged rape against a man in Pretoria who took 2 minors to a hotel and allegedly raped them, aged 11 and 13. So the reports never continue to come in. Who can forget Precious Ramabulana, raped and killed allegedly by her boyfriend at a boarding school. Tsegopule found hanging from a tree, 8 months pregnant. Uyinene Mkhwetyana walking into a post office, raped and thereafter murdered and burnt. So obviously, it's quite evident that South Africa does have a huge problem when it comes to gender-based violence. We do know that this interministerial committee consists of Minister of Police Bheki Cele, as well as Minister of Social Development Lindiwe Zulu, and women. And the Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability in the presidency, Minister Maite Koyana Mashabane. So we do expect those ministers to give us details in as far as what the work that they are doing in their respective departments to curb the fight against gender-based violence in the country. Now, the theme for this year's 16 Days of Activism, which, as you've mentioned, does get underway tomorrow, is Women's Economic Justice for a Non-Violent and Non-Sexist South Africa. It does start on the day of International Day of No Violence Against Women, which is also the 25th of this month. It's a UN day where we have to highlight the plight of women across the world, throughout many countries in this world who experience gender-based violence, particularly at the hands of their partners and particularly at the hands of men.
Zikhona, you've listed some key cases that we have seen being pursued and cases that have shocked the country, quite frankly, about just the manner in which some of the women of our country have their lives have been taken away. One cannot forget, Zikhona, another ongoing case which involves a member of the governing party, in fact, a high-ranking ANC official in Mpumalanga, the governing party there, some members deciding to go to court, to go and support that particular leader because they're saying they stand behind him. That kind of message coming from the governing party when this man is accused of such heinous crimes, of allegedly raping his children. How can the governing party, in particular the ministers that are going to be there who belong to the ANC, some of them, how do they stand with a straight face and tell South Africans that we are against what is happening against women and children in this country? How do they do that convincingly?
The scenes we saw outside that court when that man did appear were quite concerning, but we do know that the provincial government in Mpumalanga, as soon as the allegations were leveled against one of their members, they did take a decision to suspend the member concerned. Now we know that there are minors involved in that case, so he cannot be named, for example, as well as the position he held in that province also shouldn't be mentioned, just to protect the children. But it does become concerning because people take on a stance of someone is innocent until they are proven guilty. But given the plight that we are facing, where women daily in this country country are victims of rape or victims of gender-based violence with people that they know. We know that women in this country are more likely to be killed, raped, or sexually or violated by people that they know, their partners, uncles, or their family members rather. So it is quite concerning, and this is why activists will say that we always need to believe the victim, particularly in cases like these where there are minors involved, and we know how that case came about. The children went to school, the teacher saw that there was something wrong with their behavior, and thereafter the proper procedures were taken in terms of taking them to hospital. So you'd expect in a situation like that, where it is children and minors that are involved, that you would expect that people, leaders of the ruling party, will empathize and be on the side of the children. So of course we'll see as that case unfolds how things will roll out. Will there be support when he does return to court again? And what will activists be saying outside that court? And of course, the leaders that will be speaking here today, this is also their political party, so they need to take a stand. They need to send a strong message to say that this is the stance of government when it comes to gender-based violence, and this is what we are doing to make sure that not only in society but in our own government, this is what happens when such serious cases, allegations are leveled against one of our own. So certainly it is concerning, and we as a country, we need to do something about this. We know that it's everyone's responsibility, particularly men, need to take a stand and say no more. Enough is enough.
Zikhona Tshona, thank you very much for that update. Critical questions ought to be asked of this interministerial committee.